The author of the best-selling finance book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, has been a vocal critic of the US financial system for many years. In recent interviews and articles, he has warned that the economic collapse of the United States will be far worse than most people think. According to Kiyosaki, the US financial system is on the verge of a financial meltdown, which would result in the collapse of the stock market and the US dollar. He believes that this will result in widespread economic hardship, including high unemployment, a collapse in real estate prices, and a sharp decline in the standard of living for many Americans. Make sure to stick with us till the end to know more about it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. According to Kiyosaki, the US economy is built on a foundation of debt, and the country's financial system is fundamentally unstable. He points to the enormous amounts of debt held by the US government, corporations, and individuals as evidence of this instability. Kiyosaki has also criticized the Federal Reserve's monetary policy of printing money and keeping interest rates artificially low, which he believes is causing inflation and devaluing the US dollar. When the Fed prints money, it increases the supply of money in circulation, which can in turn lead to rising prices. Kiyosaki believes that this is particularly evident in asset prices, such as stocks and real estate, which have risen sharply in recent years. He argues that this inflation is hurting the middle class and benefiting the wealthy, who can afford to invest in these assets. He has also stated that stock, bond, and real estate markets are in danger of crashing in the near future. The bond market is much bigger than the stock market. The Fed is up, and they're the firemen and the arson, 75-year-old Kiyosaki said. The US dollar is losing its hegemony in the world right now, so they're going to print more and more and more of this, trying to keep this thing from sinking, he added. Robert Kiyosaki's warning about the potential demise of the US dollar has sent shockwaves through the financial world. His recent warning about the future of the US economy has garnered widespread attention, and many investors are now wondering whether they should take his warning seriously. In a podcast that Kiyosaki recently hosted, with guest Andy Schectman, the owner of precious metal dealer Miles Franklin, he stated that the United States has violated monetary laws, mentioning Gresham's laws as an example. America has been violating all of these laws of money for all of these years, and the world says, we've had enough of this. So they're joining the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So there's gonna be quadrillions of dollars coming back, and the ramifications of that are possibly hyperinflation. Kiyosaki has long held negative views about the American currency and has been warning his viewers about the possibility of its decline as the world's reserve currency. He has even gone so far as to refer to the US dollar as toilet paper, due to his belief that it is losing its value over time. When holding a dollar bill and waving it around, Kiyosaki emphasized, that means 70% of the world's population that used to use the dollar are going to take this dollar and say, we don't want it anymore. And this thing goes to trash. This becomes toilet paper. This little dollar here. Because there's so much of it out there. So what's gonna come back is a tidal wave of this toilet paper upon America, and this little $35 silver coin here. I don't like to make predictions, but I'd rather have this than this dollar here. And it's really tough to get people to say, no, I'd rather have toilet paper. It makes no sense to me. According to him, what is happening now is the influence of the so-called Triffin dilemma, named after the Belgian-American economist Robert Triffin, who in 1960 exposed a fundamental problem in the global monetary system that led to a trade deficit, as the country printing the international reserve currency had to be willing to provide an extra supply of it to fulfill world demand. Sharing Kiyosaki's opinion, his guest on the podcast, Andy Schectman, said, "The United States and their actions have done more to destroy themselves, ourselves, itself, in the past few years than any external enemy could have ever done because we weaponize our source of power, which is the US dollar, and we have driven most of the world away from it as a result. Additionally, Kiyosaki said that he is disappointed with the direction in which America is headed. Commenting on the decision of authorities to criminally charge former US President Donald Trump, the author tweeted, "Tragic day in America. My friend, the former President of the United States, is being arraigned in NYC courts. His sons, Don Jr. and Eric, are also extremely close friends. As crime runs rampant in our cities, and voters demand defund the police, I am crying. America is dying." There are 34 counts against Trump related to falsifying business records. He has pleaded not guilty to all of them. He will now hold a place in history books as the first former US president to be formally charged with knowingly participating in criminal activity. Finally, Kiyosaki had one last warning for his followers, arguing that when these things start to explode and the countries don't want them anymore because the BRICS is gonna take this down, you're gonna wish you had some more of these $35 silvers because this is still real money. In his view, the current economic conditions in the United States and around the world are unsustainable, and investors need to take steps to protect their wealth. God have mercy on us all. Robert Kiyosaki warned that the economy is the biggest bubble in world history and urged investors to dump paper assets such as stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, which he sees as overvalued and vulnerable to market fluctuations. Many of you know I do not invest in equities, bonds, ETFs, or MFs. Please do not listen to what I'm going to say next. I would get out of paper assets, he says, adding that the world economy is not a market. Instead, he recommends investing in alternative assets such as Bitcoin and precious metals like silver and gold. He sees these assets as a way to hedge against inflation and economic instability, which he believes is becoming more systemic in the US economy. Precious metals, particularly gold and silver, have been a popular hedge against inflation and uncertainty. Their value is largely unaffected by economic events, and they can't be printed out of thin air like fiat money. Kiyosaki has long been a fan of gold. In fact, he purchased it in 1972. In an interview last year, he stated, "I'm not buying gold because I like gold. I'm buying gold because I don't trust the Fed." Kiyosaki likes silver too. In fact, he tweeted, "Silver best investment in October 2022, and everyone can afford $20 silver." Kiyosaki believes in Bitcoin for the same reason he loves precious metals, a distrust in our fiat money system and the government. "I bet against the Fed, Treasury, Biden, and bet on gold, silver, and Bitcoin," he explained. In December 2022, he tweeted another reason for his continued interest in the crypto coin. Bitcoin is classified as a commodity much like gold, silver, and oil. Most crypto tokens are classified as a security, and SEC regulations will crush most of them. I am buying more BC. In addition to his multiple warnings about the state of the US economy, Kiyosaki has also criticized the government for not accurately presenting the true state of affairs. He believes that inflation is a growing problem that is not being properly addressed by those in authority. Kiyosaki also noted that capitalism is facing a serious existential threat due to rising interest rates. Buy till you drop. Retail prices are falling. Rising interest rates are killing capitalism, selling rich brands. Buy before systemic inflation takes control. Inflation is systemic, not temporary. Buy Prada, Panerai, Polo, gold, silver, BC before brands go up. At the same time, the author, who has long urged to be prepared for a possible global economic collapse, said his messages are not intended for people with a poor or middle class mentality. FYI, my tweets are not for people with a poor or middle class mentality. This is food for thought. If you think being poor is the best thing and money is bad, then stay poor. If you think middle class is the best for you, stay in school. If you want to be rich, your mindset has to be rich people oriented, he added. With that, we've reached the end of our video. What do you think about the warnings by Robert Kiyosaki? And do you think the USA is dying, as he said? Let us know in the comments section below. If you've liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Until next time.